NFL Hall of Fame football player and podcaster extraordinaire Shannon Sharpe is being accused of sexual assault. I think this allegation is 100% false, and there's quite a few reasons why I think this way. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Shannon Sharpe being accused of sexual assault from one woman on two different instances. One in 2024 and one this year, 2025. Now, can I sit here and say that the allegation is false? I can't say that with 100% certainty, but if you ask my opinion, if you ask for my viewpoint, my take, my 2 cents, I think this is 100% false. And there's quite a few reasons why I think that way. First of all, if you watch Shannon Sharpe's shows, you watch Nightcap with Ocho, you watch Club Shay Shay, you watch First Take, he often talks about protecting himself, not doing things to get himself in trouble. An example, he'll talk about going on the first date with a woman and then she's ready to go ahead and go do something else. If you understand what I'm talking about, he's like, nah, let's not do that right now. Let's not do it right now. Let's do it the next time because I don't want to get in trouble. Same thing talking about going to get a massage and getting something extra. He's like, no. If I go for service A, I'm only going to get service A. I'm not going to get service B and C and all kind of weird stuff. I'm good. Shannon Sharpe goes through a lot of things from what he says to keep himself out of trouble. And I think he's done a good job at that. He is 56 years old. I've not heard anything like this about him ever. Now, all of a sudden, he's big, popular, and more rich, wealthy, whatever than he was when he was playing football. All of a sudden, now there's a lawsuit. I call BS. Now, before I go any further into it, let's just get to what I got. There's a lot we got to show. First of all, there's Shannon Sharpe. Okay, y'all know who he is. Y'all see him on ESPN First Take. You see him on Club Shay Shay. The Cat Williams interview broke the entire internet. You see him on the Nightcap podcast with Ocho. Sometimes they got a guest like Joe Johnson. Shout out to ISO Joe. Who is the lawyer bringing the case against him? Anybody want to guess? This character right here, Tony Buzbee. Now, Tony Buzbee has a pattern of doing this. And when I say this, I mean harassing black male entertainers specifically. Because the first guy that I saw, Deshaun Watson, NFL football player, talking about 23 women accused him of sexual assault from massage parlors, and he paid out some money. It was like $20 million. Everybody, in theory, would get $1 million probably before he takes his cut. Speaking about Tony Buzbee. And this picture right here, I think was from the presser when he was talking about Puff Daddy and Jay-Z, because he was trying to sue them as well. Again, more black male entertainers. You got 2 football players and 2 rappers. What you want to get next? You want to get comedians next? You have a step and repeat banner behind you with a 1-800 number. Please stop. You are an ambulance chaser at best, in my humble opinion. Look, I don't want to be the next black male entertainer that Tony Buzbee sues, so please pardon my cautious language. You understand what I'm saying? But look, I called this. This is a tweet from October the 1st, 2024 from yours truly, ABL. I wonder what popular black entertainer will fall into Tony Buzbee's crosshairs next. And of course, I said figuratively and allegedly, because again, I don't want to be the next black male entertainer to get sued. Okay. But then again, I might not be the target because I'm not a multimillionaire like these guys are. You know, you sue me, but you're gonna get my cell phone and my computer, and that's it. You won't get no money. But anyway, let's keep going. So let's go back to Deshaun Watson. Before we move forward, we got to look at the whole history of Tony Buzbee. You see what it says right here. Deshaun Watson sexual assault lawsuit. Tony Buzbee says attempts to privately resolve litigation went on for 10 months. What does that mean? To settle and get my ambulance chaser money. That's what that means. That's what it means. And this is from September 11, 2024. So he began doing this kind of recently, within the past couple of years. Well, within the past year and a half, whatever it is, he's been doing this. Okay. And this is from 2022. So it's been a little while, about 2 years. 2-3 years, around 10 of the women who accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct expected to attend his Cleveland Browns debut versus Houston. according to Tony Buzbee. So Tony Buzbee had the plan. I don't know if he did it. His plan was to bring the women who were accusing him of sexual assault to one of his football games. So is that what you want to do? You want to go to a game where he's playing if you say that he did something to you? Rather than going to his game, why you don't go to the police? We're going to see that none of these cases he's bringing are anything other than civil litigation with no criminal prosecution to back it up at all. None whatsoever. Because Deshaun Watson wound up paying $20-something million, but didn't get locked up, and he's still playing football right now. Let's keep going. Let's go to Jay-Z. Attorney Tony Buzbee withdraws sexual assault lawsuit against Jay-Z. Now, there was a lawsuit against Puff at first, and then he just put Jay-Z in it. Now, I think the thought process here was, since Puff is in jail right now because of some other stuff, some sexual stuff, it'd be believable to say that Puff did something with somebody and try to get some money. And then maybe the thought process was, okay, Jay-Z and Puff are friends, therefore I can just put him in there. He got a lot of money. He's a billionaire. Let me just get money from him from a settlement. Okay, that was the allegation. That was probably the thought process behind the allegation. But Jay-Z fought back. And ultimately, the whole thing got withdrawn. Now, look, Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs, assault lawsuit dropped. And it says Tony Buzbee, a lawyer for the Jane Doe accuser, who's filed several lawsuits on behalf of accusers advancing sexual assault allegations against Combs, moved to voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit. Let's keep going. Judge weighs merits of Jay-Z's extortion lawsuit against attorney Tony Buzbee. The rapper is suing the Houston-based lawyer for extortion and defamation stemming from a lawsuit that was filed and then quickly dropped, which accused Jay-Z of assaulting a 13-year-old girl. Okay, so Jay-Z was like, nah, we're not going to do that. You're not going to just make allegations like that and I not fight back. You're not going to just get settlement money out of me. Not only will you drop the lawsuit, I'm going to sue you for damaging my name. Right on, Jay-Z. Right on. Okay, and he's suing the Jane Doe. So this should have been where Buzbee stopped, because obviously these guys not going to take your bullying. They're not going to take you just trying to get money from them. They're not going to do that. You're going to end up losing ultimately. He should have stopped right here, but I guess the money from Shannon was too much. And here's where he's not able to even practice law in New York. Speaking about Buzbee, okay, you can see that right there. You could pause it. I'll link to all these in the box. Okay, so look, this article was published April 19th, just 2 days ago. Shannon Sharpe seeking $100 million podcast deal that blows away NFL career earnings. Okay, just 2 days ago, this was published. And then look at this. Okay, another one for the same thing. This was published April 18th. Okay, but look at this. Now he's being sued for $50 million. How convenient. Just 2 days later, 3 days later, he's being sued for exactly half of the rumored podcast deal money. Imagine that. Imagine that. And no way this could be somehow fake or phony. No way, right? Okay, let's read some of this. And again, I'll link to everything in the box. The Jane Doe met Sharpe in 2023 at a gym in L.A. when she was 20 years old and he was in his mid-50s. She stated in the docs during her first encounter with him, Sharpe told her he would buy her fake breasts if she won a weight loss competition with him. Okay. She wrote in the suit, Sharpe proceeded to pursue her relentlessly, calling, texting, and demanding she come to his Beverly Glen mansion. The woman stated she and the former Denver Broncos tight end ultimately got into a consensual relationship, though she described it as controlling and abusive. Well, what that got to do with it? If you guys allegedly, again, this is just a story from a person. It could be anybody. It could be a man writing this. It could have been Buzbee himself writing this. The person might not even exist. The so-called Jane Doe might not even exist. This is a story I'm reading right now. So you're in a relationship, but it's controlling and abusive. Okay. He demanded complete control over her time and body. Attorney Tony Buzbee, again, this is his deal. Tony Buzbee wrote that in Doe's suit, expecting her to be at his house on his schedule at his command whenever he called. Well, if that is true, which again, I don't think any of it is, but if it is, you're an adult, you can say yes or no. Doe claimed there was one argument in particular that terrified her when he yelled at her while a firearm was visible in the room. Now you're trying to say you got guns. So you're doing way too much. I hope Shannon fights this. I hope he does, because Tony Buzbee needs to be stopped. You can't just keep doing stuff like this, making these allegations that completely stink of being fake. But anyway, Plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from her iPhone just in case, the doc state. But Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I'll effing kill you. The two, nevertheless, continued the relationship, even following a move by both to Nevada during the summer of 2024. However, Doe states in her suit, she attempted to break things off after his infamous Instagram live streaming incident where he got caught hunching, allegedly. My Michelle, y'all know what I'm talking about, which she said led to him assaulting her. That's what caused it. Doe claimed in her suit the first instance happened in October 24 at her apartment. She said 56-year-old Pro Football Hall of Famer forced himself on her while she was crying and sobbing. The second instance, the suit alleges, happened a few weeks later in January 25. Doe claimed Sharpe came over to her house with promises of delivering a Christmas and birthday gift to her, but instead assaulted her again, and she wants $50 million. Buzbee says it takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court. And of course, no word from Sharpe. I'm sure the lawyers are going to be all over this. I'm sure Sharpe's lawyers are foaming at the mouth, chomping at the bit, because they cannot wait to get rid of this guy, Tony Buzbee. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Tony Buzbee, stop doing this, man. Really, seriously. Stop doing this. This is crazy. None of what you have been doing is working. The lawsuit against Puff and Jay, that fell apart. You got Deshaun Watson. Congratulations, I suppose. But Shannon, I don't know. I think this is bogus. And I think, again, my humble opinion, don't sue me, bro. Like I said, all you're going to get is an Apple iPhone. You're going to get a bag of chapstick, and that's it. I don't got no money. But look, my opinion is that this is fake in an effort to try and get money in your pocket. That's it, and that's all. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this lawsuit? Do you think it's real? You think it's fake? A money grab? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. How you feel about Tony Buzbee? Is he a stand-up guy, a great guy, not an ambulance chaser, or an ambulance chaser? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know. Y'all know where I'm at. I think it's fake. I think it's a money grab. And people that do this, I don't care what color the person is, what color the accused is. I don't care. You got to stop doing this. You're ruining people's reputations. You're trying to steal money from them. This kind of behavior, if it's exposed and proven to be what it is, they should get the ultimate time in the penitentiary for this kind of behavior. Absolutely. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.